He'll remind anyone who will listen that he was just a little bit earlier than me, and he and I had become good friends. Eric was Teespring's lead engineer, and he was also an astute observer of business dynamics and company culture. He also shared my love for what Teespring used to be and my pain over the direction things had been heading. One of our favorite extracurricular activities was exercising together. I say exercise in quotes because we'd meet in the gym and over the course of 90 minutes do maybe 5 minutes worth of exercise and 85 minutes worth of talking. This time away from our phones and with the extra mental acuity from vague physical activity was a perfect breeding ground for countless startup ideas. Eventually, we realized that the problem that we cared about most and had some ideas for how to solve was company culture and people management. In the summer of 2015, we incorporated Lattice. We aimed not to just get back that feeling of clear mission, shared values, and passionate engagement in our work in a company that was our own. We also wanted to build a product that would help other companies invest deeply in people and culture that would make their companies the best places to work. We also got the opportunity to try to build a company culture of our own that reflects the change that we were trying to see in the world. We believe that community, purpose, and growth are central pillars of a meaningful work experience. And so that is what we've tried to weave into the fabric of what it means to work at Lattice. And those pillars, we would later understand, are also at the heart of smart people strategy. As I write this in 2020, I feel grateful that Lattice has been lucky enough to employ hundreds of people, serve thousands of customers, and raise about $100 million in venture capital. We've been able not only to ride, but also to help shape the new wave of HR software and people practices. Our first few years at Lattice were relatively smooth sailing. We grew steadily and evolved our product. But after a year of incredible growth in 2019, revenue grew by nearly 200%, our team grew from 50 to 125, and we raised 2 new rounds of financing. The COVID-19 pandemic hit us, and everything changed, literally overnight. One morning in early March 2020, we awoke to a flurry of messages in our company chat tool, Slack. Early birds arriving at the office learned that the building was closed because a member of the building's janitorial staff had been on a cruise ship where many passengers had tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, the building would be closed for the rest of the week. It was a chaotic day, but the company was good-natured, supportive of each other, and found their footing relatively quickly. I remember people making jokes in Slack, sharing articles about best practices for working from home, and posting pictures of their new makeshift home office setups. By the following Wednesday, March 11th, the tone of the whole thing changed. The spread of the coronavirus had already been very real in other parts of the world, but this was the day that it became very real in the United States, even though the country only had 1,000 reported cases. The World Health Organization declared the disease a global pandemic. The Dow Jones fell by almost 1,500 points. The first case of the virus was reported on Capitol Hill. A professional basketball player tested positive, and the NBA became the first major sports league to announce that there would no longer be fans at their games. That night, President Trump addressed the country from the Oval Office and announced a travel ban with Europe. As we went to bed that night with our heads spinning, actors Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson shared that they, too, had contracted the virus. The next few weeks presented an incredible challenge for Lattice, as they did for so many others around the world. As each day went by, we began to realize more fully and accept the reality that the world wasn't just going to return to normal, and that we'd need to settle in for a bumpy ride. Our customers were also reeling as they scrambled to adjust to working from home and to make sense of what this all meant for them. The economy started to free fall, with the stock market plummeting and unemployment claims going through the roof. Lattice's business ground to a halt. HR software budgets got slashed, sales cycles slowed.